Hello, my name is Patricia Diaz, and for the Legal Environment course today, I'll be doing my article analysis on the subject of tort and specifically on medical malpractice. We have already reviewed the chapter of torts as part of our reading assignments. However, I would like to still touch on some basic definitions. Torts are wrongful actions that causes harm and injury to another. The purpose of the tort law is to compensate the injured party for the damage suffered. We have two types of damages: compensatory damages and punitive damages. Compensatory damages are awards that are intended to compensate or reimburse the plaintiff for actual losses. Compensatory damages are broken down into a special and general. A special tends to compensate monetary losses such as expenses, lost wages, and benefits. And the general, they basically compensate non-monetary aspects such as pain and suffering. And punitive damages are monetary damages awarded to the plaintiff to punish the defendant and deter others from similar actions. My article analysis is based on unintentional torts. But before I get there, I would like to briefly talk about intentional torts. An intentional tort is a wrongful act knowingly committed. There are intentional torts against people such as assault, battery, defamation, and more. And there are intentional torts against property, such as trespass to land, trespass to personal property, etc. This is the slide that brings the legal principles that my article analysis is based on. An unintentional tort or negligence is the failure to exercise the standard of care that a reasonable person will exercise in similar circumstances. To succeed in a negligence action, the plaintiff must prove each of the following: duty, breach, causation, and damages. Duty, that the defendant owe a duty of care to the plaintiff. Breach, that the defendant breached that duty. Causation, that the defendant's breach caused the plaintiff to suffer an injury. Damages, that the injury suffered by the plaintiff is legally recognizable. The duty of professionals. Professionals such as physicians, dentists, architects, engineers, lawyers, and others are required to have certain level of knowledge and training, and they will be held accountable for it. If any of these professionals violates his duty of care towards a client, may be sued for malpractice, which is essentially professional negligence. My article is based on a medical malpractice case that happened in San Luis Obispo, California in April 2009. The jury awarded Andrew and Jennifer Blunt $74 million. Court found that the doctor was negligent in the delivery of their daughter Sophia, who developed cerebral palsy. Let me give a brief definition of cerebral palsy for a better understanding of the case. Cerebral palsy is a brain damage caused by an injury that occurs while the child's brain is still developing. It could happen before birth, during birth, or immediately after birth. Lack of oxygen in the brain. Cerebral palsy affects body movement, muscle control, muscle coordination, muscle tone, and balance. Family lawyer presented evidence during the trial that the baby's heart rate was fluctuating widely and the doctor did not request the proper examination of cord blood. The arguments presented by the defense lawyers were that a blockage of mucus was in the baby's airways, and this is what caused the lack of oxygen. Defense arguments were not substantial in this case. There are several opinions about medical malpractice payouts. Some will consider that $74 million is enough, as this is a life-changing situation for the parents and of course for the little girl. Some others will feel that $74 million is an extreme amount. I'm curious to know what are your thoughts about it. This case led me to research a little bit more about medical malpractice payouts, and I would like to present to you some interesting information I took out of the 2014 analysis done by Diedrich Healthcare, who based their own research from the data of the National Practitioners Data Bank. Medical malpractice had a steady decline in payouts from 2003 through 2012. Malpractice payouts started to rise in 2013 and continued to rise at a steady pace in 2014, marking a trend of increased medical malpractice payouts in the United States. The National Practitioner Data Bank data in 2014 saw an increase of 4.4 in total payout amounts, bringing the total closer to the $4 billion mark. In fact, if the trend continues, 2015 will be the year that the United States crosses the $4 billion threshold. The largest payouts amounts for 2014 were given to patients from ages 50 to 59 years old and 40 to 49 years old. 53% of total payouts were for female patients, while men accounted for 45% in 2014. This table shows the 10 highest medical malpractice payouts. As we can see, California is the highest with $74 million, Connecticut with 58, Florida with 38 and 31, Virginia with 25, Minnesota with 23, Pennsylvania with 20, New York with 12, Wisconsin and Arizona with $11 million. 2014 total payout amounts by state. In 2014, the states that got the highest payouts totaling $300 million and more were New York and Pennsylvania. In second place, we have California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, and Texas with a total payout amount that goes from $100 million to $300 million. Payment amounts by severity of the outcome. I was curious to know which cases got the highest payment amounts, and I found this interesting table out of the Diedrich Healthcare analysis for 2014. As we can see in this table, the brain damage and life care got $944 million. And I'm just going to name a couple more. Major permanent injury got $574 million. Significant permanent injury, $426 million. Death with 355, and a minor permanent injury with $231 million. As we can see from this analysis, medical malpractice payouts increase in 2014 and will increase even more in 2015. To avoid a lawsuit, physicians are requesting more tests than are required, which will increase our health insurance in the long run and hurt our economy. But it also seems fair to receive some type of compensation for injuries that will change an entire life. I'm wondering, where can we find a balance? Looking forward to your comments. Thank you very much.